So I want to talk about this sequence in Hellblade. Spoilers, I guess. You get your vision taken away from you, and I guess you have only sound left. But really, you do have a little bit of vision. You got like Daredevil vision or whatnot. So it's extremely limited, and you have to move through, and you have to use sound effects to basically find things. And I love this sequence because this game's sound design is top notch, especially if you wear headphones, which you should. Find a really long extension cord, plug it in, and you'll be good. Because you'll be walking through this environment and you'll hear the familiar sounds that you've recognized before, like wind chimes and the running waters. It's all stuff that you know what it is, but this time you can only hear it. And it's all familiar. What's not familiar is this creature you encounter. Well, kind of. You come across it and you can't see it, but you know it's there. And you don't have a sword, so you know you can't fight it. And so this is a great way for video games to evoke fear. It's that you know something is there, but you can't fully grasp what it is. It's threatening in that way, because if you were to see it, because if you were to get close to it, it would be bad. You can't grasp the true form of whatever it is because of your limited vision. And I tend to find those types of experiences more terrifying than like lazy jump scares. The concept of you being in a place where you know that there's something that can hurt you, but you just don't know where it is. And you know that it's coming for you. That's why I really loved playing at least the demo for Resident Evil 7. I know that there's something in this house that wants to kill me, but I don't know where it is. What I don't like is the game's over-reliance on combat near the end, because they don't introduce new enemies to fight near the end. They just keep throwing more and more at you, to the point where you're just fighting hordes of them, and Senua is not equipped with fighting groups of enemies. She can only damage one at a time, so it basically becomes a huge game of elimination. And while the game does make it easy for you to dodge enemies that are attacking from behind, it's still frustrating because there's just so many and you fight them all the exact same way and they just keep throwing more and more at you, and I'm just, I'm over it. This was cool an hour ago, but now it's just too much. You've flooded the system. I mean, in this bridge sequence, you're just fighting tons and tons of dudes. But what's worse is that earlier in the game, there was a cool bridge sequence where you only fought like 6 guys, but one at a time you just charged on this bridge and you're just taking them all out one by one. And it felt really cool, but this just feels tiresome because you're fighting a huge pack of guys and every time you kill one, more show up. And they're not different. They're the same guys you've been fighting this whole time. Just now there's more of them. And usually that's a great way to mix up combat, is to have different combinations of enemies, but in a game where you can only really engage one at a time, it doesn't really work that well. I did encounter this glitch where I'm fighting this boss and he killed me, and the game respawned me in exploration mode and not combat mode, so I couldn't dodge or attack or block. I can only get hit by the monster. And what's funny is that I couldn't die because I'm in exploration mode. So he'll knock me over and I'll get up, but I'll never take damage. So I was basically trapped in this loop where I couldn't lose and I couldn't win. And fortunately, restarting the game fixed it all, but that was almost a game breaker, and I was like, oh god, I'm gonna give this a 1, aren't I? I wouldn't give this game a 1, it's really good. I would call it a 10 experience if it weren't for that over-reliance on combat near the end. But I love the way that it plays it with perspective and the way to change the worlds in a way that only games can. Plus, Ninja Theory is really cool, especially with their style. Now, DMC's level design is really great, even if their protagonist was really stupid, and he caused a rift between him and his brother because he put his dick before the cause. Thanks for answering that, Capcom.